It's early Sunday morning, and Chris Wallace walks a well-worn path between his personal office and his public one, the Fox News Sunday set.
Good morning.
To promote his upcoming show on local affiliates and Fox and Friends. To loosen up his in-studio guest, Rick Santorum.
How are you?
How are you?
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
To make final preparations. And then the crescendo of his work week, Sunday show.
And hello again from Fox News in Washington.
This Sunday, however, a role reversal. The 11-year FNS host didn't ask the questions, he answered them. What's your goal with each show? Do you hope to break news, entertain, inform? What do you go into this
The answer is yes. I mean, seriously, it's all of those things. You know, you want to make some news if that's possible. That isn't always possible, but particularly if you have a bigger guest and a guest who's more on the cutting edge of a big story that week. My basic view is there are a lot of things that people can be doing on a Sunday morning. They can be sleeping late, they can go to church, they can read the papers, they can talk to their kids, and you know, so it's a very disposable time, whether it was entertainment, whether it was information. I'm really glad I spent that hour with Chris and the show.
Well, describe some of the most memorable segments you've ever conducted.
Well, the one I'm always going to remember, and it probably will be in the first or second paragraph of my obituary, is in 2006 when I interviewed Bill Clinton and asked him why he hadn't done more to get bin Laden out of business when he was president, and went off on me for about 15 minutes.
You did Fox's bidding on this show. You did your nice little conservative hit job on me.
And has not talked to me since.
Do you find that in some situations or some interviews that they get kind of testy and there's hard feelings afterwards and guests won't come back to a show? I mean, does the relationship you have or the lack of communication with Bill Clinton affect or impact whether you're going to get an interview with Hillary Clinton?
Well, it didn't in 2008. In fact, I have to say, Secretary Clinton, then Senator Clinton, was very fair and talked to us as much as any of the other Sunday shows. And interestingly enough, I think her camp came to feel that she was getting more fairer coverage on Fox than any other of the so-called mainstream networks, because they felt that we didn't sort of fall in love with Obama as much. And I remember Terry McAuliffe, who was then I think her campaign chairman, saying that she's getting fairer coverage on Fox than any place else. I hope she remembers it this time. What's
something that your viewers would be surprised about learning about the show, or the preparation for it?
I don't know. I'm not sure that there are many surprises. We have a very small staff. We do it. I suspect we have by far the smallest staff of any of the Sunday shows. We do it with fewer people. You know, we're kind of lean and mean, and I think we do a really good job with less.
How do you prepare? What do you do?
I watch a lot of news. I read probably a half dozen newspapers. I am so old-fashioned, I literally clip them out and underline them, and I have files. And then I go to my crack researcher on Friday, and I give her sort of areas that I've come up with and say, you know, find this out for me, and she'll give me a thick, loose-leaf notebook with reams of information about the specific things I've asked. And my favorite day is not Sunday. People always assume doing the show. My favorite day is Saturday, because you take all of this information, the clippings, the research, just your thoughts, and you have to winnow it down and make a plan, a coherent, interesting 12-minute interview with a guest. So that's my favorite day, is actually preparing for the show on Saturday.
Wallace has decades of experience in the broadcast industry that began unofficially at home as a kid with stepfather Bill Leonard, one-time head of CBS News, and father Mike Wallace, famed 60 Minutes correspondent. Both gave him advice that he uses today.
Well, people always ask, particularly because they know about my dad, you know, so what did you get? And they think it's some trick or how you you know, put your shoulder into the camera. Not at all. Preparation. My father used to say, you necessarily, when you talk to the Secretary of State or an expert on NSA security, they're going to know more than you do. But you will have the advantage of knowing where you're going to take the conversation in terms of the questions you're going to ask. And if you make it clear very early on that they can't spin you, that you know too much, then they're going to kind of level with you. So I would say research, preparation, the most important, two things. One is the work you do before you ever get on the air, and then two, on the air, listen. You know, oftentimes the initial question you ask is kind of almost a throwaway. It gets the person talking, and then you listen to their answer. And they usually have a set of talking points they want to deliver, but you listen to their answer, and then you follow up. And it's the follow-up, and with the length of the shows that we do here, 12, 15-minute interviews, you can ask a follow-up to the follow-up. You can get them off their talking points, get them off their script, and they have to think in real time.
It's this savvy that keeps his viewers watching every Sunday.
And that's it for today. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Fox News Sunday.